indestructible. This teaching, which is so much practiced by the great sages in India, by which they become fearless, unafraid of death, this had a profound influence on the Greeks who came with Alexander to India in the 4th century BC. Greek chronicles mention Alexander meeting with one such sage at his request, and then he tells him, "You are so wonderful, why don't you come with me to Greece?" He said, "I am quite happy here." But he persisted to ask him to come. Finally, when he refused, he took up his sword and said, "If you don't come, I will kill you." And then that sage burst into a laughter. Alexander asked him, "Why you are laughing? Are you not afraid of my sword?" He said, "This is the most foolish thing you uttered in your life. You say you will kill me. I am the soul immortal. I am not the body." For the first time, that emperor, whose sword frightened the whole world, found one who was not afraid with a sword at all. That is a remarkable incident which more than one Greek historian records as happening in the career of Alexander in India. The Gita teaching is found in that particular experience in a vivid manner. Verse 11 to verse 30 of the 2nd chapter acquainted us with Krishna's arguments inducing Arjuna to fight, arguments based on metaphysics, the Atman, ever free, birthless, deathless. But when Krishna said, "This is the truth, therefore you fight," that therefore doesn't come about, felt Arjuna. Why should I fight if the Atman is immortal? There is no real argument. So Krishna now changes his approach, tells Arjuna that you are a Kshatriya, a man of valor. This battle is your duty. Do this. In the remaining 8 verses, from 31st to 38, you have this approach of Krishna bringing the subject of Arjuna's Kshatriyahood and asking him, as a Kshatriya, you should face this battle. Running away is not good for a Kshatriya. As we had said in our ancient tradition in India, a Kshatriya should not have a wound or an arrow on his back, only on his chest. On the back means he was running away. On the chest means he was facing the battle. So that kind of courage, that kind of heroism is expected of the Kshatriya. So Krishna is asking Arjuna to remember that he is a Kshatriya and then face the battle. But as we shall see from verse 38 onwards, even this doesn't convince Arjuna. This doesn't appeal to him. So Krishna has to devise a new approach, and it is from that new approach you get the original philosophy of Krishna himself. Till now, he is just depending upon the existing philosophy of the self, but its life implication is not brought out adequately. From verse 38 onwards, you are in the presence of Krishna's own original philosophy to every human being. That we shall see when we come to those verses. But it is interesting to see the traditional arguments, how to make Arjuna fight, Arjuna to face his difficulties and responsibilities. That is given to us in all these verses, which contain, though not an argument to make Arjuna fight, they contain profound philosophical and spiritual ideas. Man is eternal, immortal in his true nature. The body is only just a cloth that we wear. It comes and goes, but I remain. It is this knowledge that must come to us more and more. Profound philosophical ideas are given to us in these verses, but their application to human life will take a new turn when Krishna begins the exposition of his own philosophy of yoga from verse 38 onwards till the end of the Bhagavad Gita. We shall come across these beautiful orientations, the profound philosophy of the Upanishads and its practical application in human life as given in the Gita, as we go through the verses of these 2nd and 3rd chapters of the Gita. Verse 30 of the second chapter ended that discussion based on the truth. Man's soul is indestructible, immortal. Now from 31 onwards, Krishna changes his method of approach. Says Krishna, looking at thine own dharma, thou art not to waver, for there is nothing higher for a Kshatriya, for a hero, than a righteous war. And then he continues it, fortunate certainly are those Kshatriyas, O son of Pritha, who are called to fight in such a battle that comes unsought as an open gate to heaven. But if thou refuses to engage in this righteous warfare, then forfeiting your own dharma and your own honor, thou shalt incur sin. In all parts of the world, there is this sense of honor of a Kshatriya. He must always keep up to his great honor. He is invoking that spirit in Arjuna. The world also will ever hold you in reprobation for forsaking thy duty and their honor. To the honored, disrepute is surely worse than death. Krishna says, you are already known in the world for your heroism. Now you run away from battle, it will be a dishonor to you. The world will always consider you as a man of dishonor. The great chariot warriors in the battlefield will believe that thou hast withdrawn from this battle through fear, not through compassion, not through non-violence, remarks Krishna. Thou wilt be lightly esteemed by them who have thought much of you till now. For a great man, this is really a great dishonor. Not only that, your enemies will speak ill of you, ill of your great prowess, will say thee things that are not to be uttered at all. What could be more intolerable than this? For a man of honor, this kind of cavilling by others is worse than death itself. As we say in English, death before dishonor. Krishna is invoking these sentiments in the mind of Arjuna so as to make him fight the battle of life. And then in verse 38, a beautiful truth is presented by Krishna, and that is not only to Arjuna but to all of us. He says, Sukha dukkhe same krutva labha labho jaya jayo tato yuddhaya yujyasva naivam papam avapsyasi. Keeping your mind even, calm and steady, in pain and pleasure, gain and loss, conquest and defeat, engage thou in this battle, so shalt thou not incur any sin. This is a great idea. The mind must be calm to be able to achieve great work. That calmness is possible by exercising the freedom that is given to the human being. Man is not like a creature constantly shaped by events and energies outside of itself. Man is shaped thereby, but he can also shape himself. He has the power within him. Krishna invokes this power in Arjuna and through Arjuna in all of us. The freedom of man to shape his life is a supreme truth Vedanta upholds in the Upanishads and the Gita. When a sensory impulse comes to us from the outside, we are able to image it in our minds and vary our reactions to that particular impulse. That shows our freedom. Animals are automata. As the input, so the output. In the case of man, he can vary it. That spiritual freedom man must exercise by trying to keep the mind calm and steady in the midst of influences that destroy its calmness and destroy its steadiness. That is how man expresses his sense of freedom, and that freedom is a spiritual quality. Freedom from external restraints, external influences, so that we can build our life in our own way. That is the importance of this great verse 38. All moral, spiritual, aesthetic developments in man proceed on the basis of this spiritual freedom of the